What is an open study permit and can you apply for one? Before I answer these questions, please subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. If you intend to study in Canada and you are not a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen of Canada, then it is very likely that you need to apply for a study permit. Certain people are exempt from applying for a study permit. For example, the dependent family members of diplomats or certain people who have similar roles in Canada, they can study in Canada without a study permit. This also applies to certain visiting armed forces to Canada who are allowed to study in Canada without a study permit. If the duration of your study in Canada is less than 6 months, then it is very likely you don't need a study permit. If you are a minor child whose parents are here in Canada, but those parents are not simple visitors. In other words, the parents are either permanent residents of Canada, citizens of Canada, they are on a work permit or a study permit, or they are protected people. In those situations, those minor children are allowed to study in Canada without a study permit. If you have a study permit in Canada and you apply for a new study permit or extension of your study permit before the expiry of the first study permit and the expiry date of your previous study permit passed, because you have implied status, you may continue to study in Canada. What if you need a study permit to study in Canada? In those situations, you fall under Section 216 of the immigration regulations. Based on that section, you need to show that you have admission from a school in Canada, and that school needs to be a designated learning institution or a DLI. You have enough financial resources to cover your expenses, and your intention is not to come to Canada and illegally stay in Canada or overstay in Canada, and certain other things. At the end of the day, the immigration officer will look into Section 216 and decides whether to issue a study permit or not. This doesn't matter if you are applying under the SDS system or you are a US citizen or permanent of the United States who is applying at a port of entry, or you're simply applying outside Canada, online, on paper, or inside Canada, online or on paper. Regardless of the place of application, Section 216 always applies to study permits and whether the officer will issue the study permit or not. Under Section 219 of the immigration regulations, when you apply for a study permit, you need to show that you have an acceptance letter or an admission letter from a DLI or a designated learning institution. However, the very same provision of the regulations mentions that under certain circumstances, you may be exempt from an acceptance letter. And specifically, you are exempt if you are the accompanying family member of another foreign national who has applied for a work permit or study permit to Canada, and their work permit or study permit is approved in principle, but they have not collected their work permit or study permit. In those situations, if you want to study in Canada, all you need to do is just to apply for a study permit. This kind of study permit is called an open study permit. In other words, an open study permit is a study permit that is independent of an acceptance letter. Why is it open? Because when you receive an acceptance letter from a school, this means that your intention is to study in that specific school. But without an acceptance letter, you basically can study at any school in Canada, and that's why we could consider that an open study permit. You may also find out whether it is an open study permit or not by looking at the document of study permit. If on that document there is no specific school that you have to attend to or specific program, it means that you are in possession of an open study permit. Let me give you an example. Imagine somebody is applying for work permit to Canada and they are coming to Canada and they have a minor child. In those situations, if the child is of the age of going to school, then the expectation of IRCC is to apply for an open study permit for that child. However, as I mentioned, you don't really need to get an acceptance letter. You don't need to pay tuition fees. You just need to apply for an open study permit for that child. Is the open study permit application different from a regular study permit? Not really. The only difference is that there is no acceptance letter included. However, if I apply for an open study permit for my clients, on the cover letter, I refer to that section of the regulations. You may also ask that what if I don't hold an open study permit? I'm here in Canada and studying full-time, but I decide to change my education level or change my school. Do I need a new study permit? Generally speaking, you don't. If your study permit is still valid, all you need to do is to change your school or your program study or education level and then inform IRCC that you have made those changes. To make sure that this move is correct and you don't really need a new study permit, please refer to IRCC website or consult with a professional. If you want to take a look at IRCC website regarding changing schools, I have a link below this video. Just click on that link and it will take you to the proper page to give you more information on that subject. If you are an American citizen or a permanent resident of the United States, in other words, you hold a green card and you want to study in Canada and you have minor children, all you need to do is that get an admission for yourself, or if you are working and you have done all the prep work to get your work permit, you will together come to the border of Canada, and then at the border of Canada, you will apply for your own closed study permit or your own work permit, and for your child you request the officer to issue an open study permit for them. And if they are satisfied that you meet all the requirements and they meet all the requirements, then they will issue the open study permit for your minor child. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Parsai. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I teach immigration consulting at Ashton College. I'm the author of 88 tips on immigration to Canada. You can find out about your purchasing options on 88tips.ca. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications.